That is our last scheduled workplace wellness, bring your team session. However, Pamela has informed me that some of you were already smart enough to contact her on your own and let her know that you might like to have some of this done for your workplace. And as you know, that she's a great resource, and we encourage you to continue this kind of shared practice on some sort of a regular basis since you've begun to change your workplace culture and your way of prioritizing wellness and making it a team effort. That as you bring in different people to help you with that, Pamela is a great resource herself, and she can also connect you to many, many different resources. So I am turning over the table to you, Pamela.
All right, that sounds wonderful. Okay, I'm going to start with something that I don't always do. This is somewhat of a personal story, but I feel there in some situations it's very beneficial when I tell this story, especially people that know me, and they'll ask how, why did you get into all of this? So there's a lot of backstory on it. It's just a short story, but I think it's worth sharing. My husband and I decided that we were going to start yoga back when the Hare Krishna gang were going around with their little things and they were selling the flowers at the airport. So we decided, it was popular then, so we decided we wanted to get in that. Now I had a dance background, had a dance studio, and had a dance background and dental background. So I was a very physical person, So we decided we'd do this yoga, and I thought, okay, yeah. So we got Richard Hittleman's 28-day plan. It was $3.98 now. The book is $7.98 now. But back then I still have my original book. So it went through this 28-day plan. So started doing it. I had not changed anything else, my eating habits or anything like that. I lost 10 pounds in a month. And I thought, wow, that's pretty amazing. So we just kept doing this yoga. And about 2 months into doing the yoga, my husband started having trouble with his ear. And we took him to the doctor, and he was losing some of his hearing. So they said, well, we'll keep checking. And he says, if anything happens, you come in immediately. So that if something happened, he was a teacher at Franklin. And so he called me one day. I was at the college, and he said, you got to come and pick me up. Well, we found out that he had a tumor in his audio canal. And so, we're thinking, okay, in the audio canal. And so they said, okay, we're sending you to a neurosurgeon. I'm going, wait, neurosurgeon, in the ear. I didn't quite understand that. So we went to the neurosurgeon, and they said, well, this is considered a neurosurgery procedure. So they did the tests and everything. Very apprehensive. He was very apprehensive. The x-rays were hard to do. So they planned the surgery. We were both very apprehensive. I was young. And so what we started doing was the breathing that we'd learned in yoga. We were using the breathing. And I found, oh my gosh, that's calming him down. And when he was calm, I in turn was calm. So it was calming us down. He had the surgery. They called me after 10 hours and they said, we couldn't get it. It's 6 times the size that we thought it was, and it's clear through his brain. And I said, well, they said, we'll try again. Well, I went up and he said, I won't do it again. I was very angry with him. So I said, let's start a breathing. And he breathed a little bit, really huffing, not really breathing, but huffing, but I was breathing. So I was calming down. And then I went home and screamed. But ultimately what happened through all of the surgeries and stuff, it was the breathing that helped him. It helped me. Unfortunately, he passed away. And through my grieving process, that was when I thought, I need to do this yoga full time. I need to get certified in this. So that's why I got certified in yoga. Many people assume, because of my physical background, that I got into yoga because of the exercise, and it wasn't. It was the breath work. I saw personally what the breath work did for me during that time, and I've used it day in and day out. I've worked with the ARC. I've worked with their clients. They get anxiety, stuff like working with them, breathing, the breathing. I have a daughter with a disability, the breath with her too. So this has come full circle, and it's the breath that I go back to time and time and time again. And you can go on the internet and you can read all kinds of studies about the breath, why it works, all of that. But hey, it works. I don't need to know all that because I can just breathe. I can take those nice deep breaths, focus on my breath. My focus comes in, stress level goes down. It's easy to learn, and it's not rocket science. So that's why I believe what we're doing in the schools is working so well, not along with these mindful activities and the yoga. We're teaching these kids that breath work. And so that's why I started this series with the breath work. Then I moved on to mindfulness, because mindfulness is, breath work is, you build the mindfulness on the breath work because that's what you're focusing on. So we talked about mindfulness. And mindfulness, when when you clear your mind, what happens? You are able to do positive things instead of thinking about the negative and getting caught up in that negative thought. You're able to use your creativity to do something that's going to be a healing process for you. You're practicing the pause instead of reacting. Okay, so that's a healing process. So that's why the mindfulness is important. The mindfulness, using it day in and day out, we know that the focus and the mindful activities help that. Now, I talked a little bit, shared with you a lot of mindful activities. I gave you the labyrinth, the finger labyrinth you can use. I talked about the beads. You can take the Mardi Gras beads, inhale, exhale, anything tactile type thing that you can find. I just saw a bracelet that you can get that has a popping thing on it. You pop it, and then you turn it, reverse it, and you pop it again. That is a mindful activity. So when you're doing that, you not only focusing on your breath, but you're calming yourself down. You're getting calm. You are everything. The amygdala that you have is self-regulating, and it's flight and fight. It's going through there, and you're doing healing things instead of things that can be detrimental. So then we go on to meditation, and meditation is big. Meditation is hard. It's hard because, like I said, meditation is thoughts, no thoughts. And this little area right here, that is your meditation. So, it's not a whole lot of meditation because you have all these thoughts going on. But what we tend to get hung up on, we think it's hard. And I said it is hard. But then what I hear time and time again is I keep getting thoughts in. I keep getting frustrated because I get these thoughts in. And I said, non-judgmental. Say hello to those thoughts. Don't serve them tea and let them go out the back door. All right. So you let that thought come in and go, hello, passing through, just go out the back door. But be non-judgmental about it. Don't say, oh gosh, I'm frustrated. Just let it go. Just like that song, just let it go. But remember those thoughts, just let them go. Don't get hung up on that. And keep thinking about the fact that when you are focusing on the breath and focusing on that usually will become a meditation, especially if you can focus on that breath in one word. You might have a calming word, a flower, another word, peace, calm, something like that you can focus on, counting your breaths. When you're doing that and focusing on the breath, there's this thought process going on, but it's not that interrupted thoughts where things are going on and you're not meditating. So that really is meditation. the big difference in meditation and mindfulness is the meditation is usually done on the mat and you're sitting. Where mindfulness is done 24/7. Mindfulness is done when you're traveling, when you're driving. I know sometimes I've driven and I haven't been mindful. I get there and I go, ooh, I don't remember getting here. Washing the dishes, feeling that soap, feeling how it feels on your hands, the warm water, appreciating everything that you have, because that's your present. We spend so much time worrying about what happened, or fretful about, or anxious about what we think is going to happen, and it's wasted time. We're wasting our present that we have right here. The more we practice the present and be in the present, the healthier we are, stress, mind, body, soul, because we've got that stress levels going down. The other thing is, the more you do this, the easier it becomes. I have watched the students in a big assembly, a bunch of students sitting up in the stands, blah, 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 they're just talking. You lift your hands up like this, and they start, peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. And after about 4 times, they're quiet and they're settled down. Their bodies are used to doing that. So that is even an activity you can do. Maybe you don't like the peace begins to me with me. I am real cool, you could be, yeah, that would be a good one. I like, and I've used it at the end of some of my things, is I let go, I release, I accept, I surrender to those things I cannot change. So I accept, I surrender. So that's another thing. So it's something that's comfortable for you. We do little sticks with beads on them with an ABC, and that's always be calm. That's easy for a child to remember. So they do always be calm. And these little activities with a star breath, it sounds easy, it sounds like silly, but I tell you, if you start doing it at work, just sometimes I'll go into someone's office and I just hold my hand up like that. And we start inhaling and exhaling. It takes 1 minute and it's like, hey, that worked. What if you did that? What if you went around? What if you're serving someone and you're working with someone, and before you work, you do a little breath type thing. That is something that's very, very easy to do. So you have your breath, you have your mindfulness and meditation, and then you have your yoga. Well, I started with the breath because the basis of yoga is your breath work also. It's very important to have that breath work in the yoga. What we try to do is inhale when we're coming out of a pose and exhale when we're closing the body up. Sometimes that's hard to remember. When we're doing some of this chair yoga today, what I'm going to be cueing basically is to breathe into the stretch. Feel it, breathe into the muscles. Feel the muscles releasing. And as you're thinking that and breathing that, you will feel those muscles release. I love when someone comes and tells me, I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible. And then when I say, you do yoga to become flexible. And when I used to teach an active older adult class at the Y, and I started doing a lot of yoga with them. And it was like all at one time, within a week, these people were coming in and saying, I was taking a shower and lifted my foot and washed it and was able to balance. It was huge. They thought they had no balance, but they did. So that is something else. Yoga is one activity that you can do just once a week, and you have benefits. You get benefits from it. Like strength training 2 times a week. The other thing with yogas that I do, I'll do a flow yoga. A flow yoga gets your heart rate up. So it's basically a cardio workout. In yoga, when you're in a pose, you are using a lot of muscles to hold that pose. So it's a strengthening. it's a strengthening. You're building muscle. It's strengthening. You breathe into that and you're holding those poses. You're building strength. You're lengthening those muscles. I would have weightlifters when I was director of the Health and Wellness Center at the YMCA. They were there, and I'd say, I'd tease them, you got to come to yoga. That's a sissy stretch class. Finally, they came. So we go into the warrior, and we're standing there. I'm the warrior. We stand there. They start shaking. How long do I hold this? No stamina. They can do this. They had no stamina. They could not hold those arms up for 3 breaths without starting to shake. They became to appreciate that. And then they realized, hey, after that class, my muscles felt a lot better. So maybe I should come back some more. So yoga is good in that manner. And yoga can be adapted to anybody. I did, for Very Spectacular Arts, I did a video and I did yoga songs. And what I did was I adapted it. So I said, if you're not standing, if you have to sit, and I said a chair because I didn't want to get into if you're in a wheelchair. But I said, if you have to be seated, here's what you do. So I went back and forth, adapting it to their needs. So it's very adaptable in that way. Yoga and Pilates, I'm certified in Pilates too, and I blend it a lot when I do a class. Because there's a lot of Pilates moves I like, so I blend those because I think they work well together. And so we do that. I blend those a lot, and so that's works very well. So you have your apps on your phone. You have tons of mindful, calm, smiling minds that are free, age appropriate too. They're great. You get it for an age for your child, and use it. And you actually get to use their phone, but it's something that's beneficial. So you also have, there's loads of yoga videos out there. And don't think I have to go in there and do an hour of yoga. Believe me, 10 minutes of something is worthwhile. Fitness world all the way around. From when I first started getting trained as a personal trainer and all that, we have changed our mind on so many things. We had to have that heart rate up for 20 minutes. You had to, weight train this many times. You had to do this, you had to do that. It doesn't work if you're not working all those muscles. Well, guess what? That's all down the tubes. Don't let anyone tell you that. 5 minutes of walking is beneficial. And guess what? It adds up during the day. Who can't accomplish 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there? Weight training. I have taught the people at our school, they come in and they do one machine. A little break, they run down and they do one machine. They come back later on and they'll do another machine. So that's something you can do also. But what I like I say about yoga is the fact when you're in a pose, you get a total body workout because you are using a lot of the muscles. How do you incorporate this at work? Well, I told you the little 5-finger thing. You could practice the pause where you would have a bell that would ring, and when the bell rings, everyone stops for 1 minute and does some kind of mindful activity. That's one way. We do, a group that I'm with, we will send just a period. Periods at the end of the sentences, you stop. So we will just send a period to people. And when they get that period, then they know, okay, it's a reminder. There's a community feeling in that too. When you get that, it's been sent out to others. And it's, even though you're not with anyone, it's amazing the community feeling that you get, what you get from that. So that's another way that you can do it. Put a square on the wall. And before you enter a room, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Or before you leave your office. How many times do you leave in your office and you have to go talk to someone that you really don't want to have to talk to, or do something that you really don't want to do? So you have that little box there and you inhale, you do it for maybe 3 times, you've calmed yourself down. you have gotten yourself ready to face it. You're not walking down the hallway thinking, oh, I'm really not wanting to do this, this isn't good, those type of things. Also, I recommend a mindful box. So that is a mindful box that you make your own. Okay. So in that mindful box, you may put the labyrinth, some, that popping stuff, the packing tape. Oh, wow. What a mindful activity. Put some of that in there. Get one. I do think that little popping thing I told you about, I think they have a hand at Five and Below that has the pop things in it. Put that in there. Do that mindful activity. Think of the beads, inhale, exhale. Any little thing that you can think of that you can bring to do a mindful activity that you enjoy. Would like to speak a bit about Zen gardens. Zen gardens, part of the Zen garden is building it. Zen gardens don't have to be big, elaborate things. You can get a saucer. We've used the takeout things from a place that has, it's AB is the initials in it. We've used those for students, and they put their sand in it. They have their rake. Okay, you don't have money to buy a rake. Hey, guess what? A fork, plastic fork works. Let them go out and find a stone, or you find a favorite stone, put it in there. And the act of raking that in circles is very calming. So you're inhaling and exhaling with that. So that's very good. The infinity sign, that is something very good too. Put that on your desk. Have a little thing like that, and inhale and exhale as you're doing the infinity circle. That's going to calm you down too. So there's lots of ways. And when you calm yourself down, the stresses go down, your heart rate goes down, you become healthier, more focused, and people like to be around you most of the time. And so it's I like the aspect. I get sold on it more and more now, especially when I'm getting all of these reports back from teachers. And I think if I shared this with you, I'm sorry, because I do so many, I forget what I've shared. The one thing that surprised me was the number of teachers that came back and told us we were the ones that needed the mindfulness. Once we learned to calm down, then we were able to respond to that student instead of react. And so then they do that together. That's another bonding thing. Think of those students. They need one trusted adult. All of our students are hurting so badly, need one trusted adult. So that's important. We talk about self-control and self-regulation. You think, okay, self-control is really healthy. I'm got self-control. But the one thing that you can think about, self-regulation is a little bit different, especially for a child, because in self-regulation, they're not just self-controlling and keeping themselves from doing or acting out or doing something they shouldn't, or reacting to something the way they shouldn't. What they're doing is they're self-regulating. So they're regulating their body to do something healthy, a healthy response, a healthy way of thinking it. If it's a trauma situation they're dealing with, they're thinking of a healthy way to do that. I'll do breath. So this self-regulation is huge for these kids, and it's something many of us didn't learn when we were young. When you look at the ACE study and you would possibly take an ACE test, it's only 10 questions yourself, I was over a 4. And 4 or above, you're considered to have mental health issues, addiction, health issues, a lot of stuff like that. The big thing that they found, I'm thinking, well, I think my mental health, tell me if my mental health is bad. Don't ask my husband now. But, and I feel like I'm self-regulated. I can be calm. And then I think, what made the difference? Why did I turn out like this? but someone else that was in my class facing maybe not even as much of the things that I did. And they're in active recovery now. I hope, luckily many of them are in active recovery. But when we talk about that, and I learn a lot. And it's the resilience piece. It's the resilience piece. How are you going to build resilience in yourself? And how are you going to build resilience in those children? And if we haven't built the resilience, it's a little bit difficult for us to help those children build the resilience. Remember, they learn by us. And I guarantee that that's actually in your nonprofit world too. I have only worked for a very short time in a dental office. But other than that, all my work experience has been in nonprofit. And most of the people you're working with, many are underserved, and they need this stuff. They need this stuff in the nonprofit world. So when you're facing them, when you see them and you do this, Doug, you guys, people first. When I used to do it, the people first, it was amazing when I would do this little guided imagery and thing with them. It was the staff that wanted me to come back every year more than the clients, But I started getting from them, they were using that stuff with their clients and it was working. So that's a little bit of that. So what we're going to do now is some yoga. I'm not going to do kidding around. I'd love to do kidding around yoga with you. I would love to do that, but we're not going to do kidding around yoga. We're going to do some chair yoga. Chair yoga, a lot of it's going to be familiar with you, to you, but what we're going to do is we're going to do some chair yoga, and then we're going to go into a guided imagery. We'll do a body scan and then a guided imagery. So I'm going to get my chair here and get a sip of water. I have to adjust. I need a wide angle lens. Okay, can you hear me okay? All right. So, if you go into another person's office and they're sitting there like this, all right, it's kind of hard to breathe like that. Not considered a mindful body. So what we do first, especially when we're working with kids, is we talk about mindful bodies. And with mindful bodies, we're going to be sitting in our chair with our feet flat on the floor. Okay. Sit bones are sitting on the floor. We have our chest open, our shoulders down. All right. Hands are resting just on your lap. And then you have a string attached to your head. And then that string attached to your head is pulling, the little guy up there on the roof is pulling the string, lengthening out the spine. All right. So we're going to start talking about the breath right here. And we're going to start our breathing. That nice deep breath work, inhale and exhaling. And we're going to ground ourselves. Think of grounding yourself through your feet. All right. You're grounding yourself through your feet. And as you inhale, you're pulling all that positive energy, because that breath is the energy for your practice. And as you exhale, I want you to kind of let go of any stresses or tensions or worries that you have in your body. So we're grounding. Okay, now I want you gently to drop your head to the front. And I'm going to be cueing you on inhales and exhales. We're going to inhale here and exhale, drop the ear to one shoulder. And as you're holding the pose, we're letting that air, that breath work into the muscles. We got a lot of tension there. Just let it work those muscles and release those muscles in your shoulders. Now we're going to inhale here. And gently drop our head just a bit to the front again. Inhale here. And exhale, drop the ear to the other side. Oh, you feel that tightness in your neck. Breathe into it. Exhale. Let those muscles release. Work with the breath. And then bring it back to the center. Now, I want you to pretend that you have a magic marker on your nose. And we're going to gently just draw circles with your nose. Breathe. Just let that breath flow. Now let's go opposite direction. Draw that little circle. All right. Now place your hands on your shoulders. The elbows are going to be out. All right. Open your chest up. Right. Now we're going to inhale and we're going to draw circles with our elbows. Okay, let's go the opposite direction. Okay, drop those arms and let's shake it out a little bit. Shake those arms and hands. All right. Now let's bring our fingertips together here. So we're going to inhale here. And exhale, open those arms out to the side. Kiss the shoulder blades together. Inhale, close it back up. As we exhale, I want you to open it up and bring the palms up this time. Keeping the shoulders up. Inhale, bring it back together, fingers touching. And exhale, open. Okay, drop and shake it out. Triangle is a very favorite pose in yoga. I like the triangle. And it can also be done in a chair. So you have your arms out to the side, and all that we're going to do is we're just going to lean down. So start here on our inhale. Okay, exhale, drop that arm. Gently turn the head to the ceiling just a little bit. Inhale, bring it back to the center. And exhale, drop it to the other side. Inhale, bring it back to the center. This time we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to turn around and just reach the one arm behind you. Just twist and reach it behind you. So inhale here. And exhale, twist. Inhale, bring it back to the center. And exhale, twist the other way. And inhale, bring it back to the center. This time we're going to do a forward bend. And as we go in a forward bend, what I want you to do, one arm is going to go up behind you. The opposite arm is going to go to the opposite ankle. Okay? So we'll inhale here. And exhale, drop down. Focus on the breath. And bring it back to the center. Exhale, take it down to the opposite side. And bring it back to the center. Okay, we had our elbows up like this. We're going to do that again. All right, bring our elbows here. Inhale here. Exhale, bring the shoulders, the elbows together. Open. Inhale. Exhale, close. Inhale up. Exhale, shoulder height. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. And shake it out. All right. All right. Now, if you'll put your hands flat behind you on your chair, and we're just going to open the chest up. You might want to scoot forward in your chest a little bit, in your chair a little bit, because you want to feel that chest opening, okay? I don't want you to put your head back too far. Just gently put it back a little bit and focus on the breath. And bring it back to the center. Okay, if you're using the computer a lot, you have those wrists and stuff like that. So we're going to work on that. Now, one thing that you can do is you can place your fingers with your fingertips pointing towards you on your desk, okay? So you're stretching, so the palms are on the desk, the fingers are pointing towards you, okay? Now, when you do this, you will breathe into it. Feel the stretch as you do that. And then you come back. And then take your hand and bring the fingers back. Drop the wrist completely down. And then stop. Pull it back. Drop it down. And stop. And give me a circle. And the opposite way. Okay, yoga, what you do on one side, you do on the opposite. So we're going to pull those fingers back. Drop it down. And stop. Pull it back. Drop it down. And stop. All right, good job. sitting in a chair a long time, our lower back gets very tight. And the way you work on that lower back is to open the hips up. So you want to do activities that will open the hip up. So if you cross and place your foot on your knee, all right, then you're going to place one hand on your ankle, the other hand on your knee. Open that chest up, extend up through the top of the head. Inhale. Now exhale and lean forward. You're going to feel that right down into those hips. Now breathe into it, holding the pose, letting the air release. And bring it back to the center. Okay, cross your other leg. Hand on the knee and on the ankle. Lengthen up. Inhale here. And exhale, lean forward. Feel that stretch. Breathe into it. Sometimes when you're doing a pose, you may not be able to go very far, but as you exhale, you might be able to go a little bit further just on that exhale. And then if you need to release back a little bit, that's okay. Bring it back to the center. Now, my favorite, one of my favorites is a simple twist. It's something like the twist that I showed you earlier. This chair's kind of high back, so I put my arm through it like this because it's too high to twist. But I'm like this, and you put your arm over the back of the chair. You inhale here. I have one hand on my knee, okay? I'm going to inhale here and then exhale, twist. And what I'm actually doing is I'm using the chair to press against and press myself into that total body twist. That spine is completely twisted and you're breathing into it. And you bring it back to the center. Let's do it to the opposite side. Arm over, hand on your knee. Inhale, extend, exhale, twist. And bring it back to the center. Now, I want you to tense all the muscles in your body as tight as you can. Inhale and tense them. And release. Inhale, 3 seconds. Tense everything. Exhale. One more time. Inhale and tense. And exhale, release. Okay, shake it out. So that's a little bit of chair yoga for you. I think you'll be surprised at how such a little bit of movement can make such a difference. You know, we didn't move. I wasn't big, but you're going to feel. I love it when people first start doing yoga. They say, I'm energized but relaxed. So I thought, well, that's pretty good if you're energized and relaxed. So the way I'm going to end today is we're going to do a guided imagery like we did the last time. So I want you to get in a mindful body. You can lie down if you want. You can sit, but if you sit, I'd like for you to be in a mindful body where your chest is open and you can breathe. I want to start on the breath. I want you to gently close your eyes, or if you're not comfortable closing your eyes, just gaze down. And we're going to start with body scan. I want you to start beginning by bringing all of your attention to your body. You can notice your body seated. You might be seated or standing. Feeling the weight of your body on the chair or on the floor. And I want you to take a few deep breaths. And as you take a deep breath, bring in more oxygen. That oxygen enlivens the body. It's your energy, remember? And as you exhale, I want you to have a sense of deep relaxation, just moving through the body. If you're on a seat, you can notice your feet on the floor. Excuse me. Notice the sensations of your feet touching the floor, the weight and pressure, vibration and heat. You can notice your legs against the chair, the pressure of them against the chair. You notice your back against the chair, supporting you. Bring your attention to your stomach area. If your stomach is feeling tense or tight, let it soften as you take a breath. Notice your hands. Are they tense or are they light? If they feel tense, just go ahead and tensen them up and then release them a little bit and wiggle them. Just let them soften. Notice your arms. Your shoulders be soft. Notice your throat and your neck. Your facial muscles. We carry a lot of stress in our facial muscles. To kind of relax those muscles. Then notice your whole body present as you take your breath. As you're breathing, I want you to let your worries and thoughts just drift away. We're going to use the mantra today, may I be peace, may I be at peace and calm. So as you're focusing on your breath, may I be at peace and calm. I want you to use your ability to visualize your mind's eye. Maybe you daydream. I want you to make pictures in your mind's eyes. Let your worries and thoughts just drift away. Let them go out the back door. Your imaging that you're making right now will be clearer when your mind is free of all those thoughts. So we want to free our mind of the thoughts and worries and concerns. If distracting thoughts or doubts about this process comes into your mind, just let them float away, just like on a cloud, just let them float away. Float away with your worries also. Focus on your breath. May I be at peace and calm. Imagine yourself someplace that you love or where you would like to be. Somewhere outdoors that feels quiet, personal. A calm place. A quiet beach, forest, perhaps a valley. Focus on your breath. May I be at peace and may I be calm. Imagine the beautiful clear air and the warmth of the sunlight on your body, warming your body. There's a gentle, cool breeze blowing through your hair and against your body. Imagine yourself sitting down and focusing just on your breath. May I be at peace and calm. So peaceful and so calm. Perhaps you hear birds singing or waves lapping up on the shore or a river running nearby. Perhaps a waterfall with the rushing water into the river. Perhaps you can smell some flowers. Maybe it's your favorite flower. Focus on your breath. May I be at peace Look around you. What do you see? The beautiful, calm weather. Trees, perhaps. There's leaves moving gently in the breeze, or the waves gently breaking on the shore. You saw fluffy clouds gently passing by. The deep blue sky. The rich browns and wonderful fresh greens of our earth. Imagine closing your eyes and just listening, feeling the peacefulness, the restfulness of the place. Imagine yourself lying in a comfortable position and letting go of your worries and tensions, relaxing. Imagine the warmth of the sun and the cool breeze playing on your face. As you focus on your breath, may I be at peace and calm. Listen to the quiet sounds around you. Feel the sun on your skin, warming you, soothing away your tension, and relaxing. Feel the breeze again, playing on your skin. This place is so restful, so full of peace. Let the faint sounds and smells of the marvelous